I'm happy. I really am. I think it could have been done from the start. I would have had more say and more pull on what happened, which way I went. But yeah, there's no doubt, and I'm proud to take that place. And I'll go out there and I'll fight with my heart on my sleeve as always.
And then opening the card last time to now finishing and being the headliner, that must be, I mean, when you look back at your journey, how amazing does that feel?
Yeah, as you say, it's from nothing to something. That's what it's about, and it's not just about sports. It's about anything in life. If you want it, get after it. Put it in your mind and chase it down, and it can be your dream.
Fans reacted like? Have you heard any fan reactions yet?
I hear a lot of people are not happy about it, but then the real people, the people that I want there personally, we've been grinding over this for 10 years. If it's €85 in a ticket and you know about this sport 6 months, get your ticket back and go on about your Saturday night somewhere else. Because there's people in my housing estate, people where I come from, that couldn't get their hands on tickets. And the people that have these tickets that are fans 3 and 6 months, they don't really deserve the tickets to the guys that followed me all the way to little broken down GA clubs and little tiny events, small events where there's 100 people at them. They're the people that I want there, and they're the people who deserve to share this atmosphere, because by the time that main event comes, this is going to be a festival atmosphere. This is going to be off the hook.
And people say this is the fans' main event, so, you know,
I have
agree with that?
I have heard this from the start, and the evidence kind of speaks for itself. Like, I walked out first the last time, and that was main event atmosphere. I don't think I've ever seen another flyweight bout up to title events included that have had the atmosphere that I had the first time. And I went out and I delivered, so I earned my spot. Yeah, I think this. I have one loss in between this journey in 15 months, and I've been working hard for 15 months. I haven't turned down no fights. I haven't turned away from anybody. I have took everything they've given my way, and I went forward. I have fought with injuries. I have done camps with injuries, and I'm still here.
Paddy, talk to us about your opponent, Louis Smolka. You didn't waste any time after Glasgow in calling him out. Now that you have the fight, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel great. We're 2 days away from it, and I really feel that I have never met a man, I've never walked into a gym that has been able to put me in a position that I have not been comfortable with. I have been doing this for a long, long time. So over 9 years, I don't just do stand-up. I don't just do. This is free. It's loose. It's freestyle to us. So positions happen. Sometimes positions pop up that are the same position over and over again. I've been there for 10,000 hours, and that's what I seek. I seek perfection in this game. So if Lewis thinks that he's going to fly over here and show me something I have never seen before, I'm going to show him something he's never seen before. A crowd out there that he thinks that he's fighting in between islands and that's hostile territory. This is not hostile territory. You're coming somewhere where somebody is absolutely loved, and because I am one of them, I'm one of the people that's sitting in the crowd, but I'm just happen to make it to the highest point of my career, and this is what I'm going to show him.
How did it all come about, Paddy? Tell us how it happened. Like, when did the UFC tell you were going to main event?
I was having a cup of tea, Pete, right? And my girlfriend came in and said, yeah, you're in the main event. The same way I found out the co-main event. She woke me up and said, yeah, you're the co-main event. And I just laugh, you know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, the lights don't go on after my fight now. That means nothing to me. That was the situation yesterday. That was the situation a few times before it. There was another fight after mine. All right. So it doesn't really matter whether it's at 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's in my time zone. If we were away in a different country and these things start shifting around, that's when it matters. But me, I just have 2 breakfasts now and stay in bed and catch the second bus and go and fight 3 5-minute rounds in front of 10,000 people screaming ole.
What's it like having Ashlyn Daly on this card with you now?
Absolutely brilliant, and I only seen her in the lobby there coming over, and she looks amazing. This is kind of the most energy I've ever seen her a day before a wake up, and that's important because you need to be able to suck the energy in from these situations and use it for the fire, because it's when you get in there and the crowd is going and it's you in your head. You're not thinking of anything else.
You spoke to Neil about Lou at all?
I had a little bit back and forth, but Neil's a good guy. He's just being respectful, and that doesn't really play into the situation. Neil's a different body type as well, I think looking at the fight enough was for me. And Neil was halfway across the world as well, so he done 3 5-minute rounds, and Lewis looked tired as well, and he looked pretty. He hit Neil a few times, but Neil didn't look too marked up. And the good thing about this sport is we get the fight out on Saturday.
Joseph Duffy.
Sorry?
Joseph Duffy.
Said how are you to him yesterday. That was about it. I don't see the man from one end of the year to the other. I only see him at events, and when all the stuff's going on in Ireland, the media tour we just done, and visiting children's hospitals and prisons and all this stuff that I've been doing on the ground. So all the guys that are bringing their tickets back, we're doing this here in Ireland. We're making the change. I am here. I am a resident. I still live where I was born. So if you want to go back and make the refund and not join this night, I would suggest you don't. I suggest you should come out and support your countrymen. It's not just me. It's not just an Irish main event. You have Ashley, you have Neil, you have Norman Park, you have Cottle Pendred, and this is something that has grown up in Ireland. So witness it.
What's the atmosphere like being in SBG on the run up to this fight?
You got a good spot there, didn't you? Absolutely amazing. As I was saying, there's guys like, not to be named, I'm not a name, but there's Connor's up there, Gunny's up there, Ryan Hall's there, John's there, Artem's there. It's like, this came out of a little wet shed with a leak in it in this country here, and we grew this into what it is now. So, like, without this being a fight, without it even being an MMA event, that has to be admired on its own, and it's down to Master Splinter himself, John Kavanagh.
You know, Ireland crashed out of the Rugby World Cup. You know, it's a nation who are, still mourning the loss of Ireland in the Rugby World Cup. Do you think that on Saturday night, with all the Irish talent on this card, you can kind of spring the nation back into life with some big wins?
Well, that's kind of my point of view about the situation, about people being angry about the switch in main event and things like that. We are Irish, you know what I mean? We get behind our own, and that's something we really love about this place. And I've always said that from the start. If you go to my interviews at the start, I said the Irish people are the people that get behind you, and I am one of them. I'm the same guy that gets behind the rugby team, and the guy. I don't play golf, but I support Rory McIlroy when he's playing. Do you know why? Because he's Irish, and that's how it works in Ireland. We get behind our own. We travel all over the world. We infest the place, and everyone loves us. So it's great.
Well, before Glasgow, you were talking about writing yourself into the scriptures, into Irish folklore. You beat Vaughan Lee. You're here now. Another big fight. How much closer are you to writing yourself into that?
That's why I just said this. When I found out about this last night, the first thing that came across my head was not like, it's main event and they're not the things. My mind is more advanced than that. I think I'm thinking well beyond Saturday night. I'm thinking what it's going to be like to be sitting there, a 50-year-old man on a chair, and what can I hack into in my head and sip my whiskey and puff my pipe and think about it, Everyone else is watching television and I'm just going through my memories. But this is the time here, right now, that we can make that happen, and you can change that. All I have is the power now. So I'm not going to sit there and make excuses at the moment. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to grab him with both hands.
Louis said he's going to do you off in first round knockout. What's your response to that?
Shirley Bleeding said yesterday it was going to be third round, total, utter domination as he clicked to the side. Lewis, let's meet in the middle. And let's go at it. And you will see that your shovel is not big enough to deep dig with me. You know what I mean? And if you come to knock me out, you better knock me out, because that's the way it's going to be.
And he also said that he doesn't think the crowd will be too biased on Saturday night. Do you think he's been a bit naive?
This man is 22 years of age or something. I have been 22 years of age, and I know what it's like to be in a mind of a fighter at 22 years of age. If he thinks that this is not going to be a biased crowd, I don't care if they boo him. I don't care if they cheer for him. I don't care if they boo me. If Lewis thinks that I'm out here and it's about me and the crowd, it's not. It's about me and a cage and my son at home and my family and buying a house to move in and grow a future in. That's what this is about to me. It's not as small as this guy just be online fighting with people over Assassin's Creed and all. You know what I mean? This is not me. I'm not sitting at home playing video games. I'm sitting at home trying to make a life, trying to make a legacy. And this.
Paddy, has your preparation for this fight been any different to any other previous opponent, or is it just business as usual?
Business as usual. You look at my record, that speaks for itself. It's anything I've ever done in life, I've excelled at it. And here we are again. I've excelled to another part on the card. When I made the prelims the last time, people are like, oh, we'll see what happens, and we'll stand there and we'll cross our arms and we'll judge them, and I blew it out of the water, and then they all added me on Facebook, and then I forgive them. I forgave them. That was it was like, okay, and let's talk to them, and they ask for advice, they ask me for these things, and I do. Ask anybody. I write back to everybody on any social media thing. People are down, I help them, I tell them to come to the gym. This goes deeper than that. But then it's like the one guy, you make a slip, and they're upset about it. So I don't really get involved, you know.
And did you get a chance to roll with Ryan Hall this week?
No, I haven't actually, but one of the guys was that's actually doing my corner. He's a real good footlock guy, and he was showing me some tips and some little things that we've been working on, and he only showed me them yesterday, and yeah, my mind is bouncing around with them. So I'm dying to get some time in with Ryan. He's a magician in his own area.
The two main bouts was scratched for the card. Why do you think that people still should watch the UFC Dublin?
Well, I think the two main fights, if it wasn't for Conor, all the Irish people and everybody else probably wouldn't know who Poirier was, and Joe Duffy as well. So Conor's name is linked to both of them, and the credit goes to Conor for that. So as I said, I have been here and I've been on the ground fighting in the halls, and when the biggest show comes back to the country, I think I do have the right to put my hand up and say, yeah, I deserve my shot. I have 2 wins in the UFC, or 3 wins in the UFC, coming off 2 in a row now, and my record's 12-1. So why not?